back to me in my living room. I am still in the process of getting ready for Gen Con. I have about another full week of being able to work on all of my costume pieces. So in the last video that I posted about this costume, I was working on my armor, which is, as I'm starting this, just about done. If you want to see details on how I made my shoulder armor and some of the other hardware details, you can check out the last video I posted. But now I'm getting more into the sewing fiber art side of the costume that I'm working on. The big details that I still need to work on are the shirt that I'm going to be wearing and the big boots that I need to make as well. Astrid's shirt specifically is a very complicated costume piece to look at, especially given like the climate and the time that the story is set in. I assumed that we're working with like wool, but then there's also like an element where it kind of looks like a bunch of strips sewn together. It looks almost like gauze. I've looked at a lot of different costumes of Astrid just to kind of like see what other people's approach has been, and I've seen a real mix of things, even just like a print, like a very two-dimensional pattern that replicates kind of the stripes. I really wanted to attempt to have some of that like Scandinavian knitted aspect to the costume. Obviously I don't have a lot of time to crochet a whole garment. I think my idea is going to be to crochet multiple kind of strips of fabric, those different tones that are present in her costume, and then just kind of sew them together into strips and make a tank out of the kind of like monstered together fabric that I've created. I'm trying to be like very cost affordable with the way that I'm making this costume, so I didn't want to like buy all new yarn to make the tank, but I did go in just to get a couple of the really key colors that I want to make sure are present. So I picked up these two yarns. This one is just so perfect for the color that I associate with the character. Luckily, I think that I'm going to be able to make this piece work mostly with scrap yarns, which is really great. I've been needing to have a reason to get through some of my scraps anyway. So these are some of my scrap yarns that I'm going to be using. Well, this isn't a scrap, this is just something that I bought that didn't end up working out. But I feel like this color is like perfect to blend with these. I'm going to be picking up some little $3 turquoise dye as well. If I don't have enough yarn with just these ones, I'm probably gonna try to dye some of the other scrap yarn that I have and use that. So it's gonna be a very eclectic little piece that I'm making, but I'm glad that I finally have an idea for it. I was like really kind of going back and forth about that for a while. I'm also going to start working on Astrid's boots and her skirt over the next couple of days. Those are gonna be pretty straightforward. For the boots specifically, I'm kind of thinking that I'm going to take this fur fabric that I have and kind of try to sew this into almost like a pillow that's wrapped around my leg, if that's a good way to explain it. I'm gonna back this with some brown fabric that I already had and then stuff it and then like make it into a little tube that I can slide up my leg. So that's the plan for this. I'm gonna get started on some sewing stuff now and some crochet stuff and hopefully be done with everything before it's time to head out to Gen Con. So, okay, thanks, bye. So I've been back into my sewing this morning for the project. I worked a little bit more on the underskirt for the kind of 2-layer skirt that I'm working on for this. I still have a lot of detailing and crafting that I need to do with the leather part, but the underskirt is just about finished. I just placed a little same day Michael's order because I had a few more things that I realized I was going to end up needing. For one, I ordered some more of my little craft foam. I've also been contemplating making a battle axe for this costume, which would be really fun, a bit over the top. It's really just going to depend on how much time I have left when I'm kind of done with the rest of the costume. But if I do decide to go in and make that axe, I'm going to be using some of this foam for making that metallic look on the outside. One of the other main things that I needed to get was this fabric that I'm going to be using for the boots. I got another bottle of Rit dye in this sage tone, and also some more of the cheesecloth fabric. I originally bought this cheesecloth to use for my arm wraps, and they took to dyeing really well, absorbed a lot of the color. But I wanted to pick up some more of this. One, because it was really cheap, but I was thinking that it would work well to use as some kind of supplemental fabric for the top that I'm making. And I am working on all of my different crochet strips to kind of try to patchwork together, but I feel like being able to use some fabric underneath, I think, is going to help a lot. So I'm going to be dyeing this to this teal color and using it for that. I'm also going to dye some of my yarn to be a teal color just to help me have enough to finish the crochet bits for it. So I have some dyeing that I need to do today for the shirt, for the boots. I feel like I have time. I feel like we're gonna get it done and have something fun and cute to wear. So, okay, thanks, bye. So this morning I went ahead and sewed together this little under layer for the top. None of this is going to be visible when the piece is done. The dyeing that I did yesterday for the shirt went really well. I think I picked a good color to use for this. I could have maybe left it in a little bit longer because after it dried, the color definitely lightened a little bit. So I think I'm going to start by sewing strips of this around the full shirt, and if it looks good, I'll start sewing on all of my crochet pieces over the top of that. I'm not sure if I have enough of these pieces yet or not. I feel like I'm going to have to start putting it together to get an idea of how much of it I want to be covered with crochet versus how much I think is just going to be fine with the gauze. But I have a bunch of these different strips with different yarns. Definitely going to be working on the shirt some more today. I also have some work I need to do on the little leather underskirt, but stuff is starting to come together. I also got my braiding hair in the mail today. I'll probably show a little bit of braiding day, which is going to be this weekend. Trevor's gonna put my hair up in some box braids so that I can do a big kind of complicated Viking looking braid with the costume. That's what's going on this week. Hopefully I'll also get to sew a little bit on the boots today, but we'll see what I have time for. All right, I'm back to it. Bye. hair so that we can do some braiding. I have these blonde extensions that we're going to be adding into my box braids. Trevor does my box braids for me, so tonight's mostly just going to be hanging out. It takes about 8 hours in total usually, so it'll probably be part of today, part of tomorrow. So probably will be taking a little bit of a break from the cosplay production this weekend. I've made a lot of progress so far though. I finished my big silly boots today, and just the more pieces that I finish up, it feels like I'm a little bit closer to checking off my very long, overwhelming list of everything I need to do for this. So I'll check in when I'm getting closer to the end, but next time you see me, I'll have different hair. So I'll be back with more costuming stuff in a few days. Thanks. Bye. How are you? Just here for what's hopefully a last check-in before leaving for the con. Trevor did my hair over the weekend, which ended up pretty much taking all day, both days. So I've been working to catch up on everything and try to finish all the pieces for the costume, as well as a few other projects I really need to finish before leaving town. I still have a few details that are coming together, but I'm probably not going to be filming very much just because of time constraints. Now that I'm pushing it a little bit close to the day, we are flying out the day after tomorrow, but everything is pretty much done. I got to try on the full costume, mostly finished yesterday, and it's feeling really cool. I really like all of the painting details that I did on it. The biggest thing that I had to really rush to finish yesterday was all of the spikes for the skirt. The hardware aspects of this have been very time consuming. I have been sculpting everything by hand. I made 4 spikes for each of the little skirt panels, except for the 2 that kind of overlap in the back. And then I also have all of my bird skulls. They are secured to the skirt, but they're not secured in their position yet. So that's one of my last minute tasks I need to finish, is really securing those. The skirt has gotten to be pretty heavy with how much clay I have hanging off of it now. I also finished my boots yesterday, which is maybe my favorite piece of this costume. I think because there's something very cartoonish and over the top about them. They're just really fun to wear. These things just slip on over my legs like some very big Hello leg warmers. I also have the fur on the inside that I originally bought to be the exterior of the boots, but because how poorly my attempts to dye this went, I tried it once with a regular RIT dye and once with the synthetic dye more, and neither one of them took. So the color just ended up being too light for what I wanted it to be. So I ended up opting for this fabric that I already have, which is like a brown kind of fuzzy texture corduroy. So that's what's going on with the boots right now. I'm also still kind of considering making an axe. If I have time, I'm really hoping I will. I have all the materials for it set aside. It's lower down on my priority list. I have other things I need to check off, but if I get through it, I would love to have an axe walking around. I am super looking forward to the con. It's been forever since I've been, and I think we're gonna have a great time. I'm gonna keep working on these things, try to finish them before it's time to head out, and next time I see you will be at Gen Con. Okay, thanks. Bye. Con weekend is over. I had a really great time at the con. It's been forever since I've gotten to go to Gen Con, so it was nice to be able to come back, to have some friends to go with and hang out with, for Trevor to get to come and experience it as well. I did pretty much end up getting to pull the whole costume together in time. I got to take pictures with a few different people and talk a lot about my costume, which is always fun. I think the thing that I had the most fun with for the cosplay was making the foam armor, and it was my first time doing anything like that, so I feel like it was a lot of a learning experience, and I definitely want to come back to be able to do something similar in the future. As far as like the fiber arts and sewing side, I think my favorite thing that I made was actually my big fur boots, just because they were so much fun to wear. So those are a piece that I'm definitely keeping in my closet. I don't really know how much I would get the chance to wear them again, but I really liked how those ones turns out. As far as the con itself though, it was really nice to be back. We made it through most of the entire exhibit hall, which is a huge accomplishment. There were a few things that I really had in mind that I wanted to get as far as like kind of fantasy clothing and accessories that I wasn't able to find, which I was a bit bummed about, but I did find lots of dice, which was one of the biggest things on my list, so I'm glad I got to do that at least. This was my nicest set of the day, which are these very sparkly kind of magic treasure feeling dice. So I got a full set of those. I also got one other full set and then a set of just D10s, big D20s that I got. Are just really pretty. But yeah, so I'm glad I got my exciting dice and I put them in this cute little dice pouch that my brother made for me. I also was able to get a Gen Con t-shirt, which was another thing on my list. So I had to bring home a couple things. I kept some souvenirs from like the role play that I went to and stuff too. But that's most of what I got up to. I was so excited to go back to Gen Con. I had a really fun time. This costume project was so fun to make, and I'm glad that I got to wear it out and that people were so nice and receptive and seemed excited about it as well. If you made it this far in the video, please do leave a like, leave a comment. Let me know you're around. It means the world to me. If you want to keep up with me on any of my other creative social things, I do Instagram, Tumblr, Pinterest. I'll link them down below for you. Thank you so much, as always, for hanging out with me while I work on the things that I am making. And I'll see you soon.